Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Big Trap D's.
It's Cam Reeves,
And here we go with another episode of Higher Learning,
where we will be high and we will be learning.
First random fact of the day. Approximately 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets each year.
Ooh. Well, I don't know. Sometimes, you sit on the toilet a little too long, your legs go numb. But, actual injury.
Yeah, what do you think would happen in a toilet injury?
Oh, gosh. I mean, how do you... maybe they're just so big that it shatters, and they're sitting on a bunch of, jagged porcelain. Or... that's the only thing I can even think of. Otherwise, maybe just slipping off the toilet, or not being able to... I don't know.
What I'm thinking is they come home drunk and they just fall and boom, hit their head on the toilet.
You're saying that you're not talking
about...
Yeah,
the toilet was the bringer of the injury, but it wasn't directly from sitting on the toilet.
You're talking about it's not a rear end injury, it's a face injury. From trying to puke, literally maybe going into puke and slipping and smashing your teeth out.
Yeah, just knocking your face off.
Man, there you go. I think there you go. I think you solved that mystery.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one. I bet that probably is at least 20,000 of the 40,000.
Yeah, at least.
And you know what's even weirder? I just noticed it says approximately 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets.
Yeah, Americans. But then again, there's a lot of places that don't even have toilets, so.
Whoa, okay. All right, Cam. Almost is the longest word in English with all the letters in alphabetical order.
That's an interesting coincidence.
That's a good fact.
That is a cool fact.
Almost just lines up perfectly in the letter world.
It's the longest one, though. It's only, 6 letters?
Longest word in English with
6
all
letters.
the letters in alphabetical order.
So 6-letter word is the longest one with all letters being... Man, we should have invented some new words.
I bet I got some words that'll challenge that.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
I do, I guess.
Does slang count?
Yeah, slang definitely counts. Okay, let's see here. It actually takes 142.18 licks to reach the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, but how many sucks?
Ooh. And
who literally is licking the lollipop outside of their mouth? Everyone puts it in your mouth and sucks on it.
And who watches them do it? Like Mr. Owl? Like, hey, Mr. Owl, it takes 142.18 licks.
Yeah. No, that's one of those things. I don't know.
Do you think that the licks would differ from person to person?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, some people have bigger tongues. Some people lick faster and a little more enthusiastically. You know what I mean?
All right, next fact. There is enough sperm in one single man to impregnate every woman on the earth. Impregnate every woman on the earth.
That's quite a feat.
It's quite an arsenal.
Genghis Khan, right? Is it Genghis Khan? I think it was that impregnated literally so many people that like a third of Mongolia now has his DNA.
Well, he was a conqueror.
Yeah, but that's taken a little too far.
Still, that just shows that one person could save the world.
Yeah.
If he was the one guy left on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be done.
Oh, here we go. Here's one that I'm pretty sure I've actually heard before. It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open.
I've sneezed with my eyes open.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They've always said it's like the worst.
I mean, I was prying them
thing
open with
for
my
automobile
accidents. Like this, I was prying them open.
Yeah. Every time, ever since I first heard this, I have tried to keep my eyes open while I sneezed, and it don't work, man. Well, you always close your eyes when you sneeze, even when you pre-sneeze.
So there's actually something on one of the podcasts I watched. It's called Your Mom's House Podcast. It's really funny. But they call it the Double Pipe Challenge, where if you burp and fart at the same time, and like, have you ever burped and farted at the same time?
I've sneezed and farted at the same time.
See, now I
Never
think that's
burped
close.
and
I think
farted
that
at the
almost
same
qualifies, but it's just one of those things. Like, yeah. We'll see next. Let's quit talking about farts for a minute.
Here we go. All swans in England belong to the Queen.
A greedy bitch.
Man.
All the swans?
Dude, every single
What about
one.
Reggie?
That's why...
Reggie fucking showed up in my backyard one day and he was like, man, I really like it around here. And then one day the Queen comes around and is like, nope, Reggie's mine. But that's the plight of the young English boy.
It's the Queen. She just like uses them to play croquet with and stuff.
She doesn't even care.
Give me that swan. I'm ready to play this.
Maybe on the flip side, that means if you're taking care of a swan, the Queen will pay for you to feed it. Maybe there's a little bit more to it.
That's why the guy was made to look for the swan in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just escaped from the Queen. Alright, here we go. No piece of square paper can be folded more than 7 times in half. You get it
in half?
Yeah. So you'd be folding it inwards no more than 7 times?
Yeah, I guess if you're just talking about on one plane, but you could also fold it.
No piece of square paper can be folded more than 7 times in half.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's weird.
I actually am terrible at, like, crafting stuff by folding. You pretty
like
good
origami?
at that, Cam?
No.
Origami.
I'm really good.
Making those dollar bill rings.
Really
People
good.
used to have the dollar bill rings where you could put, like, the dime in it, man. They'd have the little... Oh, yeah. They were really good at it. Like, I swear there was folding it more than 7 times. Just must not have been in there.
I think in origami they fold it and unfold it a lot. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh, here's a good one, Cam. The Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper.
That I actually do believe because
it stood the test of time.
Yeah, and hemp is like really it's a very strong fiber. It's very easy to grow but I don't want to sound like a hippie.
Wait, the Constitution is still there. It hasn't turned into dust.
No, yeah, exactly. And I don't know what the hell it is to make like our money out of, but that strong fiber. I mean, hemp is like stronger even than that, where you can wash it, like put it through the washing machine. It's technically paper, but it's really not paper. It's like a cotton fabric kind of thing.
Yeah.
But hemp is the shit.
It's cheap. I've always heard it was, Big Cotton that were the ones that decided to run the, smear campaign on hemp/marijuana. Yep. But for the fact that it was, just in competition for the superior material at that time, everything now that is related to the word hemp is thought of as, pot leaf.
Well, exactly. And I've actually heard that the reason that they made marijuana illegal is because they're trying to make hemp illegal because of competing with the cotton manufacturers at the time. So, I mean, but we're getting a little deep there.
But still, that's pretty crazy. I had no idea the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper.
Yeah, so think about that, everybody.
That is cool. Okay, here we go, Cam. A duck's quack doesn't echo, and nobody can figure out why.
Probably because it's... have you ever played a kazoo?
Yeah, you have to, breathe into it slightly.
Well, but the whole thing with the kazoo is it's just like a flapper inside of a hollow tube, which is essentially what ducks are. So the vibrations are so fast that they dissipate a lot quicker, and so they wouldn't echo. And
why wouldn't they echo if they're still putting out sound?
Because there is no longer sound waves. So like when you go hello, like that long sustained sound wave is what creates the echo because it's hitting it, constantly, for that moment. But
yeah. But
with that flapper like going like this, the sound waves are like kind of thing, and they don't bounce off salt surfaces the same.
Man, that's crazy, man. You knowing about this stuff, Cam? That's pretty cool. I honestly didn't know that any noise at all could not echo. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see here. At any one time, about 0.7% of the world's population is drunk.
I guess we're part of that, aren't we?
That seems kind of a low, at least more than 1%.
0.7%. I see. Yeah, no, I think it's closer to like 40%.
So they're talking about is drunk at that given time. You almost think it'd be like 50 or more percent.
Well, I guess okay. So 0.7% obviously is just a fake number, and that's just from some kind of assembly. So, in realistic, the religious people don't drink, and there's a lot of religious people. Let's say 60% of the population is so religious, and that's being very generous. Is so religious that they would never drink. Then you have a remaining 40%. Let's say 20% of them don't drink, which is about right, because you have 20% of people that just maybe don't deal with liquor very well. They can't hold their liquor, so they don't drink, or they just never have, or they're too young to. I would say a good 20% of the population drinks all the time.
Yeah, I would say definitely way more than 0.7%.
Yeah.
Even if that was, which is, of course, probably just, a wild guess.
Well, let's put it this way, too. Like, how many construction workers are there in the United States? How many restaurant workers are there in the United States?
Yeah, restaurant workers.
How many bartenders? How many fucking bar skags and patrons of bars? How many fucking... Come on, man.
Yeah.
0.7%, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. We're going to have to look into that one.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next fact, Cam.
Yeah.
315 entries in Webster's dictionary were misspelled.
That's actually... That's okay. Now...
Is that just a printing error?
No, I think that when they're making something like that, a lot of it is what they call dictated and not read. So you have, when you're making an entire dictionary, it's not all coming from one person. Sure, it's called Webster's dictionary, but it's not like Webster is sitting there telling one person what every word is and how it's defined and spelled.
Yeah.
They go to different professors, they go to different universities, and they have a lot of different people making that happen. So it's just, trial and error. I mean, 300, think about that, for all the thousands of words, and they only made 313 mistakes.
315.
That's not that bad. That's actually pretty good.
I'm just surprised there were any misspelled entries.
I'm not. Like I said, it's a team effort. Like Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to make a dictionary.
Let's see here. Sherlock Holmes never actually said, "Elementary, my dear Watson." Did we just make that up because it sounded cool? When they do it over in London.
Well, I think that's one of those things. I mean, he did say something close to that.
Sherlock Holmes wasn't real, was he?
No.
Yeah.
No. He's a fictional character.
Yeah.
I just think that's... I don't know. I haven't read those books. What the fuck do I know?
I don't really know too much about that either.
I mean, but come on, it's like...
I was just joking when I thought he was real, because he's obviously not.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ancient Egyptian priests would pluck every hair from their bodies. How do you do that in ancient Egypt? We're talking.
Well, I mean, if you just grab it with your fingernails, I guess you can pull it out. That's a lot of dedication, though. And who's checking? Like, who's making sure Is it just one
Must
of
be
those
like ancient documents.
What about their butt hairs and like their back hairs? Did they have mirrors? Or did they have someone like pick like a monkey would pick fleas off of another monkey? Did they have like partners in picking hairs off their body?
No, they just have
That's
people plucking hairs off you the whole time.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like that's weird. The reality of what that suggests is a little.
Let's see. M&M's actually stands for Mars and Murray's, the last name of the candy's founders. Well, we all know Mars.
Yeah, Mars bars.
Who's Murray's? You ever heard of Murray's?
He's
They get one M for the rest of their legacy, but no one has ever heard of him.
He's Garfunkel, bro. He is Garfunkel.
Well, Murray, I'm actually pretty glad that I got to know about you.
Yeah, finally.
I just thought, it would be Mars and something, probably just Mars and Mars.
That's funny.
Here we go. Oh, here we go, Cam. Judge Judy makes $45 million a year.
Oh, and all she does is chew out poor people every day for being that's awesome. Good for her, man. I grew up watching Judge Judy. At a certain point, though, it just made me feel bad. Like every time I'd watch it, it's like everybody going there, they have legitimate problems, and then if they were paid to be on the show, like I think it's like $1,500 a piece or something like that to be on a television show where this woman makes $45 million a year. Think about that, man. That's exploitation.
Man, she's balling.
She is balling, and good for her. She's exploiting a lot of desperate people. Good for her, man. I wish I could do that.
Oh, man. Well, here we go, Cam. It is estimated that millions of trees are planted by forgetful squirrels that buried their nuts.
No, I've actually heard this, and that's
cool.
So the way it works is apparently squirrels actually forget where they bury close to 50 or 40% of their nuts. So they just go to town, they bury nuts in so many locations, and
they're not really just doing them all around the same area. They're just
no. The whole point, because if there's more than one squirrel in an area, they have to get random. They have to get creative, but they tend to forget sometimes half of where they buried their nuts. But then sometimes they also stumble on someone else's buried nuts.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's totally true.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, all the beautiful trees across America are thanks to them forgetful squirrels.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are forgetful.
Stupid squirrels.
Oh, here's one. Oh, I wonder who developed this fact. Studies show that men actually experience more emotional pain post-breakup than women.
Well, I think that it's a lot easier for a woman to start another relationship. It's just like, hey, check out this pussy! I mean, come on now. Try and whip your dick out and see how far that goes. It's a lot easier for them.
Yeah,
But I think that's just it's almost too simple. But, that is a fact, so.
Nah, yeah, just, everyone thinks that, we don't have the same emotions or whatever, but, who knows?
Yeah, we do feel. We are human. Aren't we, Trav?
Yeah, we're just, softies. Let's see here. Oh, Johnny Appleseed planted apples so that people could use apple cider to make alcohol.
Awesome. That was really cool.
Johnny Appleseed was making that apple mash.
I thought he was always like a mythological figure.
I always thought he was too. That's crazy. He's like the Apple man. And it was just like our history, Cam, where it's all based on alcohol.
Well, I mean, everything is based on alcohol. Apparently, math was only created so people could decide how to measure alcohol.
Yep, how to measure borders and growing areas. Yeah, spoken word. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Cats sleep for 70% of their lives. Do you think it's a gift or a curse?
Well, I think it makes sense. Kind of. You ever seen cats creeping around during the day? They're not very inconspicuous. So, I mean, I think that's talking about more like outdoor cats, though, because indoor cats, all they do is sit around and beg for food all the time. I deal with it every day. It's quite the plight. I swear to God, this cat belongs to ISIS. It screams. So and I'm gonna explain this to you too. So you give it food, you give it a can of food, and all it does is lick the gravy off the bits of meat, and it doesn't like eat the actual food. And then it begs for more food because all it wants is the gravy. And then I buy a food that has extra gravy, and then she eats the food and not the gravy. I don't understand them. I can understand why they would sleep all the time though, because it's pretty tiring. Now that was a rant.
Let's see here.
Looking through some facts.
The city of Houston, Texas is built on a swamp and is slowly sinking.
How slowly?
Man, I don't know. H-Town, man, has been around forever. It's still going, but it's like just impending doom.
Well, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the reason why it tilts is because the earth beneath it is sinking, but just off to a kilter.
Yeah.
So it hasn't fallen. I guess they've supported it. Houston, Texas is going to sink into the sea.
And here we go. No president of the United States was an only child.
We've actually covered that before.
Did we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, I don't remember that. Well,
yeah, that's when I realized I was never going to be president. Yeah, we've covered that one.
What? That's a crazy fact.
Now, I think the crazier fact is that through all these facts, we finally tripped over one again.
Oh, here we go. This is good stuff, Cam. Most dust particles in your house are made from dead skin.
Yeah, that's actually super true. That's super true. You know what's crazy too?
We just got our own crust just all up in the air.
Yeah.
Just
I love hitting the right light and like putting your fingers through your hair and seeing all the fucking dandruff coming off. It's like, yeah, you breathe that bitch. You breathe that shit.
No, this one's not too great. It says annually, the amount of garbage that is dumped in the world's oceans is 3 times the weight of fish that is caught from the oceans.
Well, that means we're making room for the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're taking out the fish and we're filling it back up with trash. That's why the sea levels won't rise. If we weren't catching all those fish, we'd be flooded.
Let's see here. Oh, what? A cockroach can live several weeks with its head cut off, and then it actually dies from starvation.
Yeah, I can see that. Insects like that, they're compartmentalized.
Yeah,
but still,
super roach.
Yeah. I mean, you can cut a worm into 3 pieces, and each piece of a worm will survive and continue to grow. Earthworms, you know.
Man, saying motorists who talk on cell phones are more impaired than drunk drivers with blood alcohol levels exceeding 0.08, which
Well,
is
then,
the legal limit.
so it should be, maybe give a little leeway to drunk drivers.
And you are very steadfast in this belief, Cam. You don't agree with, texting and driving, using your phone, calling while you're driving.
Or drinking and driving.
And
I always wear my seatbelt.
Yes, you do. You're about as safe as they get, man.
Yeah. Yep. But
I actually agree with this, though.
I do agree with it,
Yeah, because usually when people are super faded, they're usually staring straight at the road, like focusing.
Yeah.
Whereas, anytime you're looking down from what would be your heads-up display, driving where you're supposed to be going.
Now, I'll say this too.
They always say keep your eyes on the road.
I used to have one of those GPS things. So it was like stuck to my windshield, and it had Bluetooth to my phone.
So you never had to look down.
Literally, I could tell my GPS, call this person. I never had to look down. But then everyone likes to text. No one likes to call anybody anymore. So I only call, right? Fuck text.
All right, here we go. All coffee is grown within 1,000 miles of the equator.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I always heard that coffee can only grow in super acidic soil, kind of like huckleberries, but in a different climate with less or more humidity or something like that.
Well, it's obvious. Specific conditions. This shit has got to be grown under to have that coffee. So you can't grow it up here. Can't grow it anywhere.
You couldn't reproduce those conditions inside of a greenhouse, though?
Probably, but then it's decaffeinated, maybe.
Yeah, that's how you make decaffeinated
Don't you ever
coffee.
Offer me decaffeinated coffee ever?
How do you make decaffeinated coffee?
Probably that way.
It's like, how do you take caffeine out of something?
Well, this is crazy. Americans will spend more on cat food this year than baby food. Is that why cats are still #1 on the internet?
Maybe.
Cats are just, internet gold. Everyone loves cat videos.
We should start feeding babies cat food. Or start feeding cats baby food.
Oh, then you'd spend less on cat food. Man, you're onto something.
Yeah, totally.
This one I wonder if it's current or not. It should be, hopefully. Every U.S. president with a beard has been a Republican.
Lincoln wasn't a Republican, and he had that fucking thing, right? It wasn't like a beard, but it was like that thing coming off his chin.
Every president that did have a beard doesn't mean they had to have a beard.
What the fuck?
Yeah, with a beard has been a Republican.
Yeah, that means if you have a beard that you're a Republican. Didn't Lincoln have a beard, though?
Yeah, he was the first.
Was he a Republican?
He was the first Republican, wasn't he?
Oh, I guess that's not the Trump racist Republican. Not trying to be political or nothing.
Let's see here. If you counted 24 hours a day, it would take 31,688 years to reach 1 trillion.
It's a lot of time. Is that without sleep, you think?
Yeah, if you counted 24 hours a day, it would take 31,688 years to reach 1 trillion. I don't think I've ever known what a trillion was. What's a trillion? 100 billion?
A trillion is 1,000 billion.
1,000 billion.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
And a billion is 1,000 million.
And that would be like one Mississippi counting?
See, I think that, if it's like that button mashing
But still,
fact.
Counting something.
How fast you were to count, I mean, if
well, that's just crazy. If you were to count your whole life, it would take a whole million, 31,688 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
That's insane.
But I think that you could compare.
And you think about $1 for that for every time you hear about trillion with, like big debt.
Yeah, billion's a lot of money.
Dude!
And we're trillions in debt. Yeah. I just feel like if you were to be able to count 24 hours a day, like that in itself is a feat. What is the time that they're going on? Is it one Mississippi? Is it 1 second for one count?
Even if it was
because you can go
half
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mississippi, it would still
1,
be
2, 3, 4, 5,
crazy.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like you can count faster than I don't know. I'm just gonna do this. Just reading the fact.
Recycling one glass jar saves enough energy to watch TV for 3 hours.
Oh shit!
That's the way to be health conscious.
That's the way to be health conscious.
Or environmentally conscious.
Unfortunately, we live in Idaho.
We're working on it.
It's legal to throw anything. It's legal to throw anything in the trash here. I don't care.
Just throw it in there.
Yeah. They do offer recycling. It's just not mandatory.
Let's see. In 10 minutes, a hurricane releases more energy than all the world's nuclear weapons combined.
What? What kind of energy are they talking about?
Kinetic energy? It has to be like blowback force.
Maybe it's because of the hurricane lasts so long, but you're not talking about a sustained low level of energy over a long period of time. Of course, that'd be like saying that the steady breeze moving through the meadows for an entire day has the same kinetic energy as a nuclear. Fuck that. That's a fuck that fact. Because the whole point of a nuclear bomb is it all happens all at once. That's what makes it a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
The splitting of an atom and the release of all this energy at one point in time. Not over the course of 10 minutes. That's a fuck that fact. I mean, sure, technically. But, no.
Here we go. John F. Kennedy was the first Roman Catholic president of the USA.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be someone way before John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder why none of them were considered Roman Catholic.
What is Roman Catholic?
Freaking the old school, man.
So it's like
Rome.
It's like more Catholic than Catholic.
Yeah, you're under.
It's like super Catholic.
Super Catholic.
Like Spider Catholic.
Yeah, like incredible Catholic, or like Captain Catholic, dude.
Like fantastic Catholic.
Fantastic Catholic. That was crazy. I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too.
Let's see. Jimmy Carter is the first U.S. president to have been born in a hospital?
Well, I mean, he's like 90 years old.
Dude, Jimmy Carter was like in the 70s, man? Early 80s?
Yeah, and he was old then.
So everyone before then had just been born like on the couch?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
that's what it's sounding like. But I want that, yeah. When did hospital births really start, though?
I don't know. I figured they had hospitals before Jimmy Carter
Well,
was born.
hospitals, but they're not like hospital births. And I think a lot of that too is because to have your baby at the hospital was so expensive back then that people just didn't do it. You just hired a midwife and they'd help you birth your child at home because it was more cost effective.
Ooh, Harry S. Truman was the last U.S. president with no college degree. The big
Truman
bomb
didn't have a
dropper.
college degree?
Yep, he's the last one. So every president since Truman has had a college degree.
I wonder if there's any presidents that don't have a GED.
Before Truman, I guess.
No.
There probably were some exceptions back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when, and that's another one when the real school system truly started.
I would have never known that. I've just been watching this Cold War documentary with Truman in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like early.
Isn't that the one where the dude from Breaking Bad plays him?
No, it's just a regular documentary. Just about the Cold War. Let's see. All species of beetles are edible. I've always been taught to eat bugs if it came to a survival situation.
Yeah, but that means there's no poisonous beetles?
No. Not if all of them are edible.
Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, you gotta eat what you gotta eat. I think ants are like, I don't know, you can't eat all ants, you can't eat all bugs.
I've always heard that ants, or like you're saying, yeah, ants, but mostly like, yeah, grubs and worms, those are the most scrumptious and life-giving.
Well, worms are like meat. Earthworms are like super meaty. I'm telling you, they're super crazy. You can cut them in half and each half still lives. What the fuck's up with that, man? Isn't that like alien technology?
It's just the greatness of worms.
No, it's creepy. It's fucking weird. And I don't understand it. I don't like it either. I think Mark Zuckerberg is an earthworm. Everyone says he's like
Earthworm Jim?
Alien, yeah. The Illuminati is a bunch of earthworms.
Well, they're pretty
They're not lizards.
pretty smart worms, then, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Cam, I think that we went through some really good facts. What do you think?
I think we went through some great facts. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Definitely like learning about stuff. Definitely going to be looking up some stuff, trying to figure out what's really real. And if it is what we told you it was, because, hey, we're just going off of random facts. So here we go, Big Trav Daisy.
I'm Cam Rees.
And it was good. Thanks for having another experience on the higher learning. Just like we did, everything is just, all about learning cool stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
it was an experience too. I mean, I think this one I don't know, we kind of went off the cuff with some of these facts. These weren't like your regular random facts.
But that makes them more random.
Yes, totally random. Higher learning.
Alright. Trav D signing off.
Alright, guys. Cam Rees, take it easy.